Everyone instantly recognizes the name Porsche as the builder of fast luxury cars that keeps pushing the limits of performance no matter what. But how many people know about the origins of the company, and how closely intertwined is it with Volkswagen? Your chance to find out. Dr. Ferdinand Porsche, a design engineer, was born in Muffersdorf as the third of 5 children. The settlement is known as Bratislava, which has been part of Czechia following the transfer of sovereignty after World War I. His father, Anton Porsche, was a humble proprietor of a humble plumbing workshop where he was born on September 3, 1875. Ferdinand was expected, as was customary in German-Austrian society, to take over the family business with his brothers, but he had other interests. He was already experimenting with electricity at the age of 14, which was all the rage during the latter part of the 19th century. His father, on the other hand, was not impressed and did not approve. On the contrary, he tried for a long time to stop his son from engaging in such nonsense. As a result, Ferdinand established his own secret workshop in his parents' home, allowing him to explore freely. He would have his way in the end as he went to the state trade school in Reichenberg, despite being forced to do a plumbing apprenticeship. In 1893, he started working for the electrical firm Belle Egger & Co. in Vienna. He was promoted from a mere electrician to the test center manager within a few years due to his talent and technical understanding. His life began to pan out from that moment onwards. He created an electric wheel hub motor in 1897. In the same year, Ferdinand Porsche began working in the newly founded electric car department at KUK Hofwagenfabrik Jacob Lohner & Co. Vienna. The year 1897 was a watershed moment for Porsche. His work would culminate in the Lohner Porsche. It was a non-transmission vehicle driven by a Porsche wheel hub engine that was hailed as a game-changer at the Paris World Trade Fair. He was not just an engineer though, and he was looking for new, unforeseen ways of testing his cars. That's why he settled on racing. Yes, Ferdinand Porsche also used racing to successfully test his innovations. In 1900, for example, he won the Semmering circuit outside Vienna. He was also in the racing team for Archduke Franz Ferdinand as a driver in 1902. After 8 years at Lohner, Ferdinand Porsche later joined Daimler in the Wiener Neustadt as technical manager in 1906. He continued racing as he won the Prinz-Heinrich Race, which was popular at the time. In 1910, driving a Daimler automobile that he also developed himself. It was an annual long-distance test for touring automobiles with different routes each year. It was 1,495 kilometers long that year, and it ran from Berlin to Bad Homburg, passing through Mardenburg, Braunschweig, Kassel, Würzburg, Nuremberg, Stuttgart, Strasbourg, and Trier. On the track, Ferdinand Porsche's unique aerodynamic tulip-shaped automobile reached top speeds of up to 140 kilometers per hour. He became general manager at Austro-Daimler in 1917, and not too long after, Sascha, a compact 4-cylinder racing automobile with a 1.1-litre displacement. The Sascha won first and second positions in its category at the Targa Florio event in Sicily on its debut in 1922. Gazzetta dello Sport, an Italian publication, commented on its success as follows: "Up until very recently, no one would have dreamed it possible to achieve such top speeds and durability with a 4-cylinder engine belonging to the category of smallest cars ever." Perhaps driven by Sascha's success, he would move to Daimler Motorengesellschaft in Stuttgart as a technical manager and member of the executive board the very next year. This was the main branch of Daimler in Germany, and he was immediately put to work taking charge of improving the Mercedes compressor automobile. Mercedes-Benz S, SS, and SSK compressor designs became synonymous with sportiness and racing success. Again, he raced it himself, and in this car he won the Targa Florio race for the first time in 1924. Ferdinand Porsche was awarded the honorary title of Doctor by the Stuttgart Institute of Technology. After a brief start at Steyerwerk AG, the famed firearms maker, he finally started his own enterprise in 1931. On April 25, 1931, Ferdinand Porsche established his own independent design office, which was registered in the Commercial Register as Porsche Design. Dr. Ing H. C. F. Porsche GmbH, Konstruktion und Beratung für Motoren und Fahrzeuge, designing engineering and consultation for engines and vehicles. The torsion bar suspension was patented on August 10, 1931, which according to a well-known expert journalist would have been enough to immortalize the Porsche name in the car industry. Auto Union later commissioned Porsche to construct a 16-cylinder compressor Grand Prix racing car for the new 750 kilo rules in 1932. The Auto Union Porsche won 32 of the 64 races, with drivers like Hans Stuck and Bernd Rosemeyer setting numerous world records. Soon after this, he looked back at Sascha and thought about a small car for everyday use. He intended to design a high-quality car that could be used on a daily basis and wasn't merely a smaller version of existing saloons. The Porsche Design Office and the Reichsanwalt der Automobilindustrie, which is the umbrella organization for the German automotive industry, signed a contract on June 24, 1934. That was the time Volkswagen, translated People's Automobile. In 1938, the foundation stone for the Volkswagen plant was placed. Ferdinand Porsche was one of Volkswagen GmbH's general managers during this time, and the Second World War broke out just as production was about to begin, with only a few public use examples being created for official use. The Volkswagen was also used to construct the first all-terrain or amphibious vehicle. Nonetheless, the Volkswagen was recognized for being the achievement it would soon become clear to others around the world. Ferdinand Porsche was given the honorary title of Professor in 1940. During the war, the construction office worked on projects including the Maus heavy tank and an alternative version of the Tiger tank that was not adopted for official use, as well as wind generators and the Volksstraße. Ferdinand Porsche was apprehended by the French at the end of 1945 and held in various prisons for 22 months. Because of his indirect participation in arming the German war machine throughout the war, he was targeted. After failing to find any evidence of him being related to war crimes or the Holocaust in particular, he was let go. Upon his return, he studied the design of the racing car Cisitalia, which was built under his son Thierry's supervision. He was proud of his son's creation, and he allegedly stated, "I would have built it exactly the same, right down to the last screw." Dr. Ferdinand Porsche ultimately died of natural causes in Stuttgart in 1951 at the age of 75. It may be a surprise to some to know that Porsche as we know it was established after his death, but that's how it went. It was Ferry Porsche that built the first Porsche branded car along with his sister Louise Piech, who married Anton Porsche, a top Volkswagen executive. This car was the famous Porsche 356. In Gmünd, Austria, the earliest models of what would become the 356 were made in a small sawmill. The prototype car was displayed to German auto dealers, and when pre-orders reached a certain level, the reformed Porsche Konstruktion Gesammel began manufacturing with an aluminium body. The 356 is widely regarded as the first Porsche because it was the company's first model to be sold. Because parts were in short supply in post-war Germany, the 356 car utilized pieces from the Volkswagen Beetle, notably the engine case from the internal combustion engine, transmission, and various suspension components. While in production, the 356, however, went through multiple evolutionary stages, A, B, and C, with most Volkswagen-sourced parts being replaced with Porsche-made parts. Nonetheless, it was deemed a modest success. In 1964, the firm debuted the Porsche 911, a name that would immortalize Porsche as the purveyor of excellence in pure driving performance. Following a degree of decent success in motor racing, with several models including the 550 Spider, which would also find fame as James Dean's car. It was another rear-engined, air-cooled sports automobile similar to the 356, but with a 6-cylinder Boxer engine. Ferdinand Alexander Porsche, Ferry Porsche's eldest son, led the team that designed the body shell. With countless motorsports victories, the 911's legendary status is easy to understand, yet it was Ferry Porsche who best summed up the car. The 911 is the only car you could drive on an African safari, or at Le Mans, to the theatre, or through New York City traffic. Indeed, the 911 only became a better driving machine over the years, eventually sporting the Boxster and Cayman as worthy supporting models. Porsche has been tackling challenges head-on in its modern history. Even as recently as 2021, Porsche boosted its deliveries in all of its global sales locations. In the United States, growth was notably significant, with 22% more vehicles shipped than the previous year. In total, 70,025 clients in the United States purchased a model from the vast product line. Porsche delivered 84,657 cars in America, a 22% increase. China remains the sports car manufacturer's largest single market, with a strong overall performance in 2021, up 8% from an already record-breaking year in 2020. The home market of Germany has also seen an increase in demand, with 28,565 vehicles supplied, indicating a 9% increase. In Europe, 86,160 vehicles were delivered to clients, which is 7% more than in 2020. Ferdinand Porsche's focus on doing the best with the newest technologies available still clearly run deep in the company, as Porsche was one of the few European performance brands not afraid of a challenge and swore to make an EV that could compete directly with the Tesla Model S. That effort culminated in the Porsche Taycan, a diverse offering of venerable 911 models such as the Cayman, Cayenne SUV, the Panamera sedan, the Taycan EV, and with feet still deep in motorsports, the company continues to be celebrated for making high-quality, high-performance models that are loved by all. 70% of Porsches ever built are still on the road, signifying the deep connections Porsche owners build with their cars. Ferdinand Porsche would have been proud. Have you ever heard of Ferdinand Porsche? Are there any other details you would like added to this video? Share in the comments, and if you'd like to see more inspiring business videos, then make sure to check out our channel.